the lock. You know who built the key. Every lock has weight, every seal has teeth. The document below, the surface underneath. Sealed evidence! Sealed evidence! The lock is on the door they made. Sealed evidence! Sealed evidence! The weight behind it will not fade. The file is real. Woo! The file is real. The names are real. She walked into the room with evidence in hand, left a message on the wire, made a final stand. 3 days later, silence where her voice had been. The record closed before the record could begin. Another thread that leads straight back to power. Another clock that stopped at the wrong hour. The pattern runs in straight lines, follow them, connect the dots and count from A to M. One voice, two voices, three voices, gone. One voice, two voices, the count goes on. Four voices, five voices, six voices lost. What is the silence worth? What is the cost? The system labels it a natural event, a press release with every sentence bent. The timeline doesn't match the stated cause, but matching timelines never earns applause. They file it under cases closed last year. Another folder for the filing tier. The pattern speaks in numbers, hear the count. Too many names for accident to mount. Not conspiracy, just pattern recognition. Not paranoia, just repeating position. Staccato count. 1, pause, 2, pause, 3, pause. The list won't stop. One voice, two voices, three voices, gone. One voice, two voices, the count goes on. Four voices, five voices, six voices lost. What is the silence worth? What is the cost? What you own determines what you've done. Arrived by private charter, leave the same. The law below the water has no name. Go, 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 go. The runway doesn't show on public maps. The manifest is documented gaps. The locals know and do not say a word. The silence is a contract they preferred. The coast is clear because the coast was bought. The kind of clear that currency has wrought. Geography of power, draw the zone. The island says what happens here, stay stone. One world with courts, one world without. Two sets of rules, one map, two routes. Private jurisdiction, private jurisdiction. The island rewrites what the law said. Private jurisdiction, but private jurisdiction. One border for the living, one for the dead. No dock, no charge, no trial, no date. The island holds, the island waits. Private jurisdiction, private jurisdiction. The island rewrites what the law said. Private jurisdiction, private jurisdiction. One border for the living, one for the dead. The island still stands. The runway still works. The system didn't fail to protect the children. The system protected the people who harmed them. That is not failure. That is function. Hey, hey, hey! Ow! The charge was filed and filed again. The docket grew through 2009. The lawyers moved to seal the case. The judge approved right down the line. A legal wall 12 stories high, built brick by brick with billable hours. The plaintiff couldn't even see the names behind the fortress towers. Not broken, working, not failed, functioning. The shield exists for those who funded it. They called it due process. They called it the law. They called it protection. With the widest maw. Shield mechanism. Shield mechanism. Built to absorb the hit. Shield mechanism. Shield mechanism. The innocent don't fit. Deposition sealed, testimony barred. The shield is legal, the shield is hard. Every motion filed, every motion met. The wall stands tall and hasn't crumbled yet. The case reached settlement, the terms undisclosed. The record stamped and permanently closed. The plaintiff signed where counsel pointed out an NDA that silenced every shout. The system worked exactly as designed. The outcome was the outcome pre-aligned. Protect the shield, protect the architects. The mechanism never self-corrects. Not broken, working, not failed, functioning. The shield exists for those who funded don't fit. The shield is still standing. Who built it still lives there.
The inquiry opened on a Tuesday in March. The headline ran for 6 days, front and wide. By April, the committee had a date. By May, the date was quietly pushed aside. The witness list reduced from 9 to 4. The force one-sided prior commitments. The chair declared the process still on track. They logged the session, noted the omitments. Open for the optics, closed for the outcome. The process was the product. All along, half the truth is still a full lie. Half the file is still a closed eye. They open just enough to say they tried. Half open file, the rest is classified. Half the truth is still a full lie. Half the file is still a closed eye. Investigation as a camouflage. Half open file, the door stay locked at large. Redacted blocks on 42 of those. The summary declared the facts were complex and closed with further action will be closed. The press release said justice was observed. The process honored outcome, well deserved. The file lives on in archive storage now. I have completed fact nobody reads somehow. 71 pages, 42 in black. The summary says justice. The redact says that the truth is still a full lie. Closed eye. They open just enough to say they tried. Half open file, the rest is classified. Half the truth is still a full lie. Half the file is still a closed eye. Investigation as a camouflage. Half open file, the doors stay locked at large. Of a gram, 3 years mandatory, no program. Courtroom be the same floor, same zip. The file was sealed before it lost its grip. One defendant showed up without a suit. One defendant had a law firm in pursuit. Same substance, different sentence, different fate. One law in 2 directions, different weight. 2 cars, 1 law, 2 scales, 1 flaw. The poor court is the real court. The rich court is the hall. 2 cars, 1 law, 2 verdicts, 1 fall. Walk in clean, walk out with charges clear. Walk in broke, walk out with years. The public defender works 11 cases today. 1 and 40 CPAs. The motion practice runs on different rails. One side gets discovery, one side jails. The system says the blindfold makes it fair. The blindfold has a peephole, they know where. Two outcomes for the same event in law. Two courts inside the courthouse, same front door.
Same crime, different outcome. Same law, different function.
Count the years, count the names, count the disparity. It's not the same.
Two courts, one law, two scales, one flaw.
The poor court is the real court. The rich court is the hall.
Two courts, one law, two verdicts, one fall.
Walk in clean, walk out with charges cleared. Walk in broke,
Walk out with years. Same courthouse, two different systems. Same front door.
The story sat in draft for 18 months. The editor called legal, nothing came. The ad contract was signed the following week. The article got filed without a name. The source had documentation, 40 pages. The network said the timing was too soon. The timing stayed too soon for 7 seasons. The source went silent, disappeared by June. Wow. The anchor knew, two anchors knew the same. The segment ran on weather, sports, and breaks. The story lived in boxes between departments while the billing cycle ran for all their stakes. Silence isn't neutral, silence is a price. Silence has a structure and a rate. The news you didn't see was news they held. The broadcast blackout isn't fate.
The silence isn't empty. The silence has a rate.
The silence has an invoice. The silence has a date. Broadcast blackout. Blackout, blackout. The frequency was killed before it ran. Broadcast blackout, blackout. The kill came from the owner's business plan. Broadcast blackout, blackout. They didn't bury news, they bought the ground. Broadcast blackout, blackout. Silence is the loudest thing around. Broadcast blackout, blackout, blackout. The frequency was killed before it ran. Broadcast blackout, blackout. The kill came from the owner's business plan. Broadcast blackout, blackout. They didn't bury news, they bought the ground. Broadcast blackout, blackout. Silence is the loudest.
Say around. The draft is still in the system. The ad still runs. This isn't about one person. This is about the geometry. Every node protects the next node.
The shape holds, even when one piece falls. Draw the map, start with the center point. Each line connects to someone at a joint. The favor moves from node to node like current. The silence flows in every line concurrent. One node falls, the network doesn't break. The shape reroutes and calculates the take. No head to cut, the body is the structure. No single name, the web is its own texture. Remove one name, the shape remains. Remove the shape, the shape sustains. Is it a favor? Is it a threat? Is it a handshake you can't forget? Is it a silence but in advance? Is it a contract or a circumstance? The network answers yes to all of those. The network answers nothing and it grows. The diagram goes deeper than the board. The loyalty predates the formal word. A school, a club, a summer house, a call, a deck that never shows on paper at all. The mutual protection runs in parallel. Each keeper keeps the next one from the well. The architecture has no architect on file. The building builds itself mile by mile. Node by node, line by line, the map connects. The map is fine. Remove one node, the map redraws. The network has no human flaws. Is it a favor? Is it a threat? Is it a handshake you can't forget? Is it a silence but in advance? Is it a contract or a circumstance? The network answers yes to all of those. The network answers nothing and it grows. The map is still drawing. The lines are still live.
same games. The 80s held a version of this thing. The 90s passed it forward, added string. The 2000s added digital protection. The 2010s refinement, misdirection. Each era got more sophisticated tools. Each era rewrote slightly different rules. The structure underneath stayed recognizable. The transfer mechanism was unbreakable. Lungs were not to say, not one man, it's the architecture of the chair. Institutional memory knows where. Every decade ships the same command. The new hand presses where the last hand scanned. The knowledge travels faster than the names. Institutional memory plays the same games. The chair is still occupied. The briefing still transfers. They call the audit trail result a somersault. The institution has an interest in the case. The institution is the judge and set the pace. The conflict registers on every page of law. The conflict is acknowledged and ignored by all. The check is signed by the account it oversees. The system grades its own performance. Do you see? Not paranoid, not broken. Evidence-based and open. Every audit failed by the auditor. Every review run by the reviewer. The conflict of interest isn't a bug. The conflict of interest is the feature and plug. I don't trust you. I don't trust you.
The document, the sound got louder. They killed the broadcast, the signal group. They settled out of court, the count kept climbing. They ran the clock ran through. Every layer pressed on top of signal. The signal found a different path to flow. The system builds its walls with legal concrete. The frequency goes under, over, below. Press the signal down. It finds another route. Seal the document. The frequency gets out. The frequency holds. The frequency holds. You can't seal a sound. The frequency holds. The frequency holds. You can't keep this down. The frequency holds. The frequency holds. The signal is already in the ground. The frequency holds. The frequency holds. Every wall they build, the sound goes around. They built a network on a foundation of silence. They structured every node for containment. The thing they underestimated always is sound that has no built-in for restraint. The music carries what the file can't contain. The lyric holds what the deposition can't explain. Every sealed room generates an echo. The frequency holds, and it doesn't wane. They sealed the room, the echo built. They cut the wire, the signal spilt. They bought the silent sound, made deaf. The frequency holds and hasn't gone yet. The frequency holds. The frequency holds. You can't seal a sound. The frequency holds. The frequency holds. You can't keep this down. The signal is already in the ground. The frequency holds. The frequency holds. Every wall they build, the sound goes around.